Herb Geller on alto.
Herb's a neighbor of mine, lives right behind me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Then Buddy Collette played clarinet, which is the only time on this album that he did. Well, I take that back, but I mean the only extended solo on clarinet. And then Jack Sheldon played trumpet, Jack Montrose on tenor, myself on French horn, and the same rhythm section as before.
Mm-hmm. This is what, about your 5th LP on your own name? Let's see, you had what?
It's number 9.
9 LPs? Gee, I had no idea. I remember your first one.
Some of them got lost.
Oh, you mean they weren't released?
Oh, now wait a minute. There's I'm counting one that isn't released, and I think that.
Well, I remember the first one was the one on Trend, wasn't it?
Right.
Which
yes.
was reissued now on Cap.
Yes,
on
Cap, did 4 more sides and put it on
that got
Cap.
some real nice. That had Shorty on it. And
yeah, that had what they call the West Coast bunch. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I remember a Downbeat review where they said it was the same West Coast gang with a different leader.
It wasn't the same sound though with the names you wrote for it. Egypt and Pyramids. I remember all those two very well. Then on deck, of course, you had the Jazz Lab things and the Jazz Studio things.
Yes. Oh, of course, I was counting Studio 2 as my album, which it was, even though my name wasn't listed on that, because at the time I was under contract at Trend.
Well, that's the one that had the 4-hour version of Laura on it.
That's right, yes.
That.
Mm-hmm. So counting that, and the Trend and the Cap, then there's one on MRC.
Which is a very good LP, too.
Well, thank you. And then this one is the most recent, the one on Decca. Then one coming out on a new label called Andex has my Jazz Symphony, and it really is a symphony. It's for a full symphony orchestra with 9 jazzmen.
Up to now, the things which I have heard, which have been attempts to incorporate jazz into a symphony, have been miserable failures, because when the jazz comes on, it's jazz. When the symphony comes on, it's symphony. But there didn't seem to be any interrelation between the two. For example, that thing that Sutter Finnegan did, you remember that?
Yes, well,
thing, but I'll be very curious to hear this.
I think that this will, I hate to be the one saying about it.
Please
I think that this will be really a jazz work. I think you'll, because I've played it for so many jazzmen who, as a matter of fact, Bill Holman, who's the A&R at Andex, accepted it after a first hearing, and Shorty Rogers approves of it heartily.
Oh, it's got to be good. When's it coming out?
July 15th.
Is it a full symphony orchestra?
Yes, full symphony orchestra.
What orchestra are you using in there? Is it a regular orchestra?
It's a European festival orchestra. They have a festival each fall in Europe. They have quite a few. Well, this was one of the festivals, and this symphony of all-stars, shall we say, plus all-stars from all over Europe in the jazz field.
Oh, this was recorded in Europe, then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember you were in Germany, I know.
No, I wasn't there. I was supposed to go, but at the last minute I didn't.
They did it without you.
That's right, and we were surprised at how well they did it without me being there.
Are there any American jazzmen on it? Or
No,
they're all European.
They're all European, and you won't be able to believe it when you hear it.
Well, now, the Jazz Overture we played a little earlier, is that from this same symphony? Or is this is another one. This is from an opera.
No, that's what I was trying to put across. The symphony really is a concert work in the classical sense, in a strict form, and yet it's a jazz work, too. It has a lot of improvising in it.
Well, will you do us a favor? As soon as you can get an advance copy, will you bring it down one night and sit down and tell us about it and play it? We'll play
I think I'll give you the scoop on it if you want it.
Give it to me.
Great.
Good.
I can have you do it.
Oh, we'd love to. And if you can make it, you come down, because there's nothing like having a composer along to give you an idea of what's happening on the thing. I know it's not program music if it's a symphony, but even so, at least you can give us some of your ideas that you had in mind when you wrote it. So
and then another interesting thing, Dr. Wesley LaViolette wrote the liner notes.
That's Shorty Rogers' father.
And he's the guy who taught Jimmy Giuffre and Shorty and so many of the nucleus of the West Coast writers.
I know that. Well, John, it's been a great pleasure having you down here. We're going to do it more often, and we'll look forward to having you as soon as we can grab a copy of the symphony and putting it on.
I accept the invitation.
It's a deal. Yeah.
I'll hold you to it.
I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks. Starting Monday, I'll be going to go back to Newport to the festival, but Don Hamilton will be taking over. If you can get it in that time, Don will be very happy. I know to put it on, and if it's after then, why, then I'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's the first time I knew that Chico Hamilton had a brother. I just met Don a few minutes ago.
He has two brothers. He has another one who is very talented, too, who is an actor, right? Right, Don standing in the background.
Next time I see Chico, I'm going to ask him why he doesn't, push his brothers a little bit.
Probably professional jealousy. John, thanks a million for coming down. We certainly appreciate it. And before you leave, we'd like to play one more record, so if you'll pick one more track.
Well, I'd like to close with an experiment in a sense of humor in a way. I don't know if it comes off or not. Will success spoil rock and roll? And this was written for Spade Cooley's TV show for a pupil of mine, a girl French horn player, Annette Bienvenue. And I think she's going to probably be the greatest jazz French horn player in the country. Wait till you hear her. She's just a little kid.
Greater than John Graas?
Oh, by far. So, anyway, this was written for her, and she did it with Spade Cooley show, and then I rewrote it for this group. So it's not authentic rock and roll, but it has, the gimmicks.
Okay, well, rock and roll spoiled John Graas, and thanks very much for coming down, John. That was entitled, Will Success Spoil Rock and Roll? We hope so. Anyway, that was the final offering by our guest of the evening, Mr. John Graas, who will be back shortly, very shortly, we hope, complete with symphony. When you hear a commercial, do you stop whatever you're doing and pay very close attention? I'll bet you do. But you know, I have some shocking news for you. Some people don't listen very carefully to commercials. Now, this may be because most commercials ask you to buy something that'll cost